This is Leaf Life. All things cannabis for all people. Now, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a great free magazine called The Leaf that is available in print in 14 states at your local cannabis retailer. And you can also find it online at leafmagazines.com. Hey, what's up? I'm Mike Ricker, and I'm your host of Leaf Life with my co-host and bestie, Wes Abney, also known as the Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course, there's AJ OG.
Hola, aloha OGs.
And don't forget Mary J. White.
Baked with love.
What began in the 1980s as an underground winter sport now thrives as one of the world's most popular mountain cultures, with Washington State being the birthplace of this sport, as well as the first state to officially legalize cannabis. There's a match made in heaven. This is Snowboarding in Cannabis.
Heady and shreddy.
Oh, yeah. Bring on the pow, baby.
Our first segment, Don't Ride Alone. It's a community. And our second segment, Speed and Weed. But before we get educated, we've got to get medicated. So let's get stoned.
Amen.
All right. No, it's AHMON.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever your day has led you, now it's time to fire up, chew up, or drink up. But get in the mood as we introduce this show's Greg the Guinea Pig.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Greg the Guinea Pig. Who's our guest this week?
Greg the Guinea Pig warning. These tasks are undertaken by experienced cannabis users and under the supervision of accredited professionals. So please take our advice and definitely try this at home.
Yeah, it's not amen. It's AHMON Stamps. AHMON Stamps was one of the first few black professional snowboarders in the world and owns Stamps AG, Stamps Agricultural Farm in Boring, Oregon. Thank you for making the trip. It is really a pleasure to have you on the Leaf Life podcast, AHMON.
Oh, I'm stoked to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me and allowing me to come up and chat with y'all.
Yeah, brother. I'm looking forward to talking about some boarding, dude. Let's get on the mountain. But first, we got to spin AJ's wheel to see what's in AJ's stash.
And now,
yeah.
what's in AJ's stash?
Okay.
All right, y'all. So we got this awesome, beautiful flower right here. I'm going to go ahead and put that towards the camera. This is the Judge strain. It's from the Golden Cut Reserve, Claybourne Co., their Golden Cut line.
Cool. Claybourne's a Cali brand.
Oh, yeah. It says it's going to be a certified banger. And I'm actually stoked to smoke this today with you, my friend, because what I've learned is that these guys have a bunch of professional athletes that are actually working with this flower and bringing it to market.
Claiborne does,
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing. You know, it's good to see athletes from all sports getting involved with cannabis.
Totally.
these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had Sean Kemp, you know, 14-year veteran in the NBA, 6-time All-Star on the show. And he said, if cannabis was legal when I was playing ball, I would have played another 5 or 6 years.
Oh, I can believe that. Like,
And we'll talk about snowboarding and cannabis because it is a professional sport. Amon, go ahead and hit that piece, brother, and tell us what the Claiborne weed
I get to
tastes
rip
like.
this right now.
Oh, yeah.
Easy,
So you got your
easy.
Carve on the side there, and this is a beautiful piece by
Danielle Guthrie.
Am I doing this right?
Guthrie.
You are, brother. We love Danielle.
There
She's a
you
friend of the Leaf
go.
Life podcast. She lives outside of Bellingham, actually very close to Mount Baker. She's a huge skier as well. Bellingham, a lot of glass blowers north of here.
Yep.
In fact, right here, if you're looking on YouTube, if you're watching our channel at Leaf Life Podcast V2, you will see at the very front of the table a beautiful glass rig blown by Mothership Glass that was gifted to us. You could hear it on the Mothership Glass V2 episode that just came out like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But, you know, glass blowing is a huge art form in the cannabis space, and we celebrate it as much as possible. And in fact, if you want to see our past glass issues, go to leafmagazines.com and look up the April glass issues. Always beautiful features. Now, let's talk about it, man. Don't ride alone. You know, that's a saying that they say if you're going into the backcountry. I personally have been on the snow, on the mountain since I was 5 years old. And so, you know, for me, it's almost a religious experience to get on the mountain and have the unique ability to slide down it and harness nature, because it really does fill your body with gratitude and excitement at the same time. But You know, the thing that drives snowboarding more than other sports, maybe like, I don't know, golf or tennis or something like that, is that it is a community. People look after each other, and you ride with your friends, and you really, you know, the hoots and the hollers and the trees, brother, when you're getting that fresh powder, there really is nothing else like it.
No, there really isn't. And I mean, and the hooting and hollering is a lot of joy from riding fresh pow, but kind of also lets your friends that you're riding with know that you're close. You know, like if you're riding trees with your homies and then you're like, yeah, this is killer, it's sick, get over here, and no one's around you. You're like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Well, it's a dangerous sport. You can end up in a tree well. People do die snowboarding, so all the time.
Yeah, I've lost a few friends to some avalanches.
There you go, brother.
And hitting trees, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sorry for your loss.
Avalanches are my biggest fear,
Truly
to be honest with you. That's why you stay in the trees.
Yeah.
You know, but I want to know about your story. Now, off the air, we talked about it previously before we started recording, and you came from Atlanta, Georgia, which was kind of a, you know, for a black dude, pretty much a nowhere town, you know, if you're getting into trouble, which you said you were doing, and you decided to come out west. And it's almost like you didn't find snowboarding, it found you.
That's true. You know, I grew up in Atlanta, and for me, conventional sports just didn't really click with me, you know. So there were some people that, you know, that were playing, you know, baseball and basketball and football. And, you know, I tried those sports, but it just wasn't for me. And I didn't really like connect with any groups of people, you know, because you know how it is when you're in school, you're like either you're an athlete or you're like one of the popular people or something like that. I was on the outskirts, and a couple of punk rock kids just kind of just were like, well, hey, what's up? You know, like just kind of just chatted with me, and I started hanging out with them, and I picked up a skateboard.
Okay.
Started skateboarding back then, and I realized that, you know, it was okay for me to be different and skateboard, because everybody in skateboarding is different. You know, it's an expression of your own personality.
And so you came out west, you met some kids near the Burnside Skate Park in Portland, and they said, come out to the mountain and let's get you on a board.
Yeah. I met these, you know, I mean, and I was out of high school, and I met like these 14-year-old kids. They coincidentally owned a snowboard shop, Mount Hood Snowboards, at the base of Mount Hood in Rhododendron.
And they were hot little riders, right?
Yeah,
Future pros.
Yeah, future pros, future professional photographers. And I didn't know anything about snowboarding. So once the fall came, the weather hit, they invited me up there. I went up there to just kind of hang out. Coincidentally, again, that day, the mountain was having a job fair. So they were like, get in the car. You're going to go get a job at the resort. I was like, no, I'm not. They threw me in the car.
I'm a skater.
I'm a skater. I don't even know what this is. Like, you
translates to snowboarding well because it's a sport of balance.
Right.
But it's different snowboarding. You're headed downhill and there's resistance. And it's not necessarily about the tricks. It's about stability and agility. I mean, you know, skateboarding's the same and they're similar.
They are.
But snowboarding's way different. There's a different culture to it as well.
I have a very serious question.
Yes, ma'am.
I know nothing about this sport. How do you stay on the little board?
You have straps.
You're strapped in on a snowboard. You're strapped in.
Feet are strapped in.
Wow, Mary.
No, I know nothing. So if you fall off,
you're still connected.
Okay.
But the balance.
Now skis are different because you're in bindings, and when you fall off, the ski will come, off, so you don't break a leg.
Yeah.
Snowboarding's different. It's a different way of landing, and it's a different way of getting down a hill. It's more of a vibe. It's more of a motion, like surfing.
Exactly.
You know, I skied from the age of 5 until about the age of 20. And then I left my skis in a snowbank. We were traveling from San Francisco to Tahoe. And when we got home, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot my skis at the mountain. Forget it. They're gone. Right. So the next time I went up to the mountain, I rented a snowboard. And I swear I've probably ridden 150 days since. I have not skied once.
Wow. It was
since that day.
Yeah.
So what happened for you at the job fair?
I ended up getting the job. And we went back to their skateboard shop, and I was like, well, I don't have a place to live. And their dad, who owned the shop, was like, oh, you can just stay here at the snowboard shop with us and the kids. And I'm like, really?
What?
Like, I'm going to move into the, so I moved into the snowboard shop. And it took like maybe 10 days to find someone at the resort that needed a roommate. But the fact that they opened up their shop for me to have a place to live, just to come and experience what snowboarding was. And
Wow.
they didn't have to, like, you know, and,
So
and I
how'd you
had no clue.
How'd you elevate to the level of being a pro?
Yeah.
I mean, it was, you know, I feel like there were just certain things in the universe that just made me or helped me get into it. You know, I worked at the resort that same year. I ended up getting a job working for High Cascade Snowboard Camp, which is one of the premier snowboard camps back then, where you could ride all summer long at Mount Hood.
Wow.
So going
Yeah.
there,
He was getting 180 days a year, right?
yeah, 180. I think one year I did a little over 200 days, just because Timberline
Open all year.
Yeah, basically at some points they'd shut down for 2 weeks just for lift maintenance and open back up when they had the snow in the past.
These are Oregon mountains.
Is
Yes.
it that way anymore?
I mean, you can still ride till
Timberline?
till probably like the middle,
mostly
middle
park.
of August.
Park riding.
Yeah, park riding.
Yeah.
There's a glacier up high. I mean, there's still snow there right now, but I'm kind of lazy. I don't really want to hike for it much.
Yeah.
So I like it when the chair's spinning.
Yeah. And so you know, you got recognized was it because you were black or because you were really good? Because there were not a lot of black riders back then.
I mean, I think it was it kind of, now that I look at it, it might have been a mixture of both. You know, I did pick it up really fast. I also met, like, that first year, like, I was a beginner, and I met all these like existing professional riders and stuff, you know, and they would just give me like helpful bits of information on how to get better or how to do a trick better. And, you know, then finally they were just like, hey man, you know, there's a guy, Russell Winfield, who was considered the godfather. He is the first ever professional snowboarder that was black.
Canadian?
Nope, from New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lived here in Seattle for a super long time.
Okay.
Really good friend of mine.
And so you ended up getting endorsement deals?
I got, you know, like working at camp, you start meeting people that in the industry that work, that have product that they want the kids to see you wearing. So more or less they're like, well, hey, if we give this person these, you know, this equipment and stuff, the campers are going to see this person with this stuff. So maybe they'll want to go and buy it. So it started like that. And then I started doing contests and meeting other people, and then shooting in the backcountry with photographers and getting pictures in the mags. So,
Dope.
I mean, I didn't get a whole lot of media exposure in the mags, but I definitely got some.
But you did commercials?
Cool. Yeah, I shot one commercial for Ford.
Nice.
And then from the footage, they ended up making 2 other commercials. So I ended up with 3 commercials with Ford back in like 2001, I think it was.
Nice.
And how
Good
long
for
did
you.
the career last?
I mean,
now you're in your 40s.
Oh, no, actually, I'm in my 50s now.
Fair enough. Okay.
Well, you look great.
Thank you, though. Thank
You look good.
It's the cocoa butter, baby.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, say that.
You look fit though, you know.
Yeah.
You look like an
mean,
ex-professional athlete.
I try to still stay active. I snowboard as much as I can right now when I'm not working. But you know, like, you know, snowboarding, it just popped into my life. It was rad, you know, and I met it in a really cool community. So
Yeah.
these people were like, yo, you should try to get involved with you should try to be a professional. Russell's the only one out there. Russell. And everyone would always compare me to Russell.
Wow.
Like they wanted us to like not be cool with each other. But like from day one, when I met the homie, dude, we were just like high fives and just like, let's hang out, you know? And people were like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
You're supposed to be competitors.
We're trying to like pot you two against each other. And I just laugh.
No.
But
No, we're not.
and in the snowboard community in general, it's like very friendly, yeah. Like,
Yeah, it
Of
is.
course.
That's
It
what
is,
I've
but
experienced.
It can be
Everybody's-
competitive though when you're like when the kids are doing the contest, like everyone's friends and all, but
Yeah, just like any pro sport. In the second segment, we'll talk speed and weed. But first, it's time for you, Amon, to play Common Laxagents.
Here we go.
What are we doing?
You're going to love it.
All right. Okay.
How much do you actually know about the most mysterious mossback ever to scratch his chin coif on an elk antler? This is Common Laxagents.
Amon, much is yet to be learned about the mystifying species of bearded lorax. However, here's what we do know, okay? You got 3. Number 1, if a leopard can't change its spots, what can't a bearded lorax change?
boy.
Freckles.
That's a damn good guess, but it's wrong.
Sorry, pal.
It's pots. The bearded Lorax inherited Grandmammy Beard's complete cooking set when she passed into the great limestone cave in the sky, and he has sworn in front of his 2 bearded calves that they too will inherit this cookware once he has enjoyed his final Saskatoon serviceberry possum dumpling stewed in her perfectly seasoned saucepan. Can't change its pots.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
It's a good
Totally
guess,
thought it
though.
was
Freckles is
Dang.
great. All right. Number 2. If the bearded Lorax's neighbor, Mr. Beaver's favorite thing to jazz up his dam is dried salmon bones, what is the bearded Lorax's favorite thing to jazz up his yard with? Not salmon bones.
No,
Salmon bones.
Boy, what could it be? Jeez.
Jeez, it's Halloween. Let's just say human bones.
Human bones. That's incorrect. The answer is garden gnomes.
I'm not going to get any of
Those
these right.
sweet little things.
More than decoration, the bearded Lorax loves to display these as decoys to deter people from stealing his RFK Jr. yard signs. Because like a scarecrow that keeps birds away, people think that a garden gnome is a magically shrunken version of a bearded Lorax who is present in the yard keeping watch. The reason that this is so convincing is because most of his neighbors have seen him wearing a red pointy hat when gathering cedar leaves, which he uses to make relaxing tea for his autistic cat, Mac.
Jesus God.
Oh gosh. He's got
They're my nomies.
exactly. He's got the most snowies on the block.
You're 0 for 2, bro. You're getting closer, though.
Oh, I'm about to strike out. I feel it.
All right, number 3. Here we go. If Mr. Beaver's favorite thing to drink is muddled mud, what is the bearded Lorax's favorite thing to drink?
Oh, that's a good
brother.
one.
A muddled mojito.
Well, we're going to give him a right answer. He's a smart gentleman. The answer
Everyone
is
loves a mojito.
muddled Rockstar energy drinks. That constitutes, why not? It's a drink that's muddled. Since the bearded Lorax gave up drinking alcohol 20 months ago, he likes to enjoy a delicious liquor-free mojito by pounding the mint, lime juice, and syrup in a tall glass before adding the contents of the can for a delicious mocktail that gets the forest bees buzzing, the spring birds chirping, and even Mr. Beaver himself has been known to swing by the pad for a chipper game of wood chip cornhole.
Oh my God.
Now we know a little bit more. It's common Loraxogens, brother. You got to know this stuff.
I mean, I need to hit the internet when I get out of here.
Hey, if you want to discover cannabis news, reviews, entertainment, and culture, and explore every single Leaf magazine at your convenience, search leafmagazines.com. Coming up in our second segment, we'll dive into speed and weed, the combination of snowboarding and cannabis. We'll get another spin of AJ's wheel and kick it all off with another episode of Why Didn't I Think of That with Mary J. White. Leaf Live continues in just a moment.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit forming.
Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug.
There may be health risks associated with consumption of these products.
For use by adults 21 and older.
Keep out of the reach of children.
Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker Wes's sick lids, is provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.